It's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Nation TV. It's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Nation TV. And we're coming to you live from CV Gitty. It's the Gitty Gang Show.
Gitty Gang Show.
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 It's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Nation TV. There we are. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to another installment of the Gitty Gang Show. I am Ben Gitty, here, happy to be with you on another fine Friday afternoon. We got Mr. Nick Lanciano over there behind the producer's desk, chapeaued and bemasticled, as usual. Bemasticled? I'm not sure that's a good word to... let's take it again from the top, all right? Is this live? We'll come in again. We're glad you're here with us. Gonna get the comments pulled up here on the clicker so I can see who's out there and watching. We got some good stuff lined up for you today. Some great videos that have been submitted by good friends. We've got a real all-star cast as far as videos go today. We got Louie Lamanna out there, of course, Mr. Jim Morris, Kale of Pornus Studios, and Mr. Jerome Greal, I believe his last name is pronounced, from over in France, doing some really cool stuff. We first saw this video on YouTube and begged him, like, can we please run this during the Gitty Gang Show? And he kindly said yes, so by God, we've got that. Got some cool new stuff to show off. It's been a crazy week, a couple of weeks actually. Nick's gonna jump up here and do a song, a little bit of that good old chicken fried there. Trying like hell to think of the name of the band.
Zach Brown?
Zach Brown Band. I knew it had the word band in it. We see some good people out there. Philip Taylor and Tim Henderson, Michael Abele, Louie, of course. Good to see you out there, Louie. Your video is going to be coming up in a bit. Chainspiel. Taking a little break from the drinking this week. I wish I could say the same, but I can't. Taking a break from it right now. I do not have a wee dram up here on stage with me. So, yeah, some good videos and other things. So, as far as sales and things go, we were going to have a sale on some things this weekend. Our Essentials, our Guitar Builder Essentials sale is ongoing. A few more items were added into that. Some nice discounts there on some of the most popular and most essential things for cigar box guitar building. But we had another sale lined up for the weekend that we're going to push back. Books and posters and things are going to be on sale during the week, next week. The reason we pushed that back is that a little something happened this week. Wednesday evening, in fact, we had a bit of a thing here on New Hampshire TV, a show called Chronicle. Many of you have seen it on the Gitty Facebook pages. It is pretty much the New Hampshire show. Like, it's not a big state. I don't know how many, 1.2 million people live here, I guess, ish. And pretty much all of them watch Chronicle. So it was a very nice little episode talking about cigar box guitars. I was sitting here in a corner of the Juke Shack stage, got out to the bench a little bit, trying to spread this idea that anyone anywhere can build their own guitar, can make music on it, and that CB Gitty just happens to have some things that make it a little easier, right?
So many hobo fiddles.
Oh, jeez. Well, they got a good close-up of me playing my hobo fiddle, and we have had a bit of a run on kits. Almost all of them going to New Hampshire addresses. If you saw the photos that we posted on the CB Gitty Facebook page yesterday of the nearly 3 full pallets worth of stuff, many of them kits, many of them going to New Hampshire addresses.
And if you're new to the show from that, thank you. Welcome to the show.
I was getting there. It's not showing me how many people are currently watching on Facebook. I tell you, the Facebook's on this here iPad.
35.
So if you are watching this show for the first time, oh, Jesus, would you believe it? I am once again tuned into last week's show. I have no idea if any of these people are actually out
All
there.
new show. I mean,
all new show, folks. Every time, all new show.
It's just a recurring segment. It's okay.
Yes. Yeah, this bit where I am watching the wrong people.
Yeah, who are you?
Oh boy.
Why are you in my living room?
Well, during the first video of Jerome Greal playing there, I'll get this week's show pulled up and see who's actually out there. I trust some of the people whose names I mentioned are out there because they tend to be.
Portis is over on YouTube.
Yeah, buddy. Hey, Kale. How you doing? So yeah, getting a little local media attention caused an absolute explosion of kit sales here at CB Gitty. So haven't had time. I was out at the UV printer all day yesterday printing boxes, hobo fiddle kit boxes, and some other things that I'm going to show off here in a little bit. So yeah, it's exciting times, and of course all of this comes during the busiest time of the year anyway, what with the Christmas buying season upon us, so good times. Certainly no complaints here. So we're going to go into that first video that Jerome was good enough to let us use. Nick has a link to his YouTube channel. Check out his YouTube channel. He has posted a lot of great stuff. A couple of his earlier videos, it's been a few years now, went somewhat viral. The stuff that he was playing on cigar box guitars. So here he's doing a tribute to a extended jam based on C6 Steve, some of C6 Steve's best stuff. So hope you enjoy it. Again, didn't it?
Yeah.
And now I'm frozen. No, I'm back. Hey, there we are. Would you believe it? Getting off to a jolly start today, aren't we? Got the wrong video pulled up here. That video had no sound.
And neither does Jim's, apparently.
What the hell? He said, happily. Well, we're going to charge happily forward. I think your YouTube grabber...
Yeah, the YouTube grabber didn't work.
So, we've got some new...
Apparently. Sorry, guys.
We will begin checking that before we go live in the future to see if our videos actually have sound. So, I've got a little story to tell that I discovered this week. I've been researching old medicine bottles, old poison bottles, the labels that they would have on these things back in the early part of the 1900s. And the reason I'm doing that, I'll give you a little preview, some of you have seen them, is working on some new designs. This is an old arsenic bottle design, poison, for printing on some of these cans we have. So in searching for this, I found a story. It's from 1934 out in Portland, Oregon. Now this was after Prohibition, but even after Prohibition ended, bums and street people and hobos still couldn't afford actual liquor a lot of the time. They'd have to make do and see how far a dime could get them. Well, it turns out that a dime would get them just far enough down to the local drugstore, not the high-end drugstores. These are the Skid Row drugstores where they could buy a little bottle of denatured alcohol. And these cut-rate drugstores would measure out the denatured alcohol from a big can out back, and the hobos would buy it, hand their dime over and get their bottle, and it'd make them sick, but it'd also get them drunk. And when you're that far down, you'll take it wherever you can get it. Now they had a name for denatured alcohol of this sort, and they called it Dehorn. D-E-H-O-R-N. Dehorn. Not sure exactly what that what that name probably had different meanings to different people. But this story I found out of Portland, Oregon, is about a day that something went wrong. Because what they use to denature alcohol, it's basically straight grain alcohol, 190-ish proof. They use methyl alcohol, it's called wood alcohol, to denature it, to basically make it poisonous so that people won't or shouldn't drink it. And they put enough in there that make you feel bad, get you sick, but not enough to kill you. Well, this particular day, something went wrong, and the can of denatured alcohol that this particular drugstore got, the name of the place was called the Pioneer Drugstore down there on Skid Row in Portland, was straight wood alcohol. And 28 hobos died from drinking it. They found them the next morning. So I shared this story with Shane Spiel, because he's into this kind of stuff too. He's like, you got to write a song. Like, you know? All right. So I started throwing some words around, and they just kind of came together. And I decided to put them to the tune of Ghost Riders in the Sky. Great old tune that has been around a long time. So I'm going to try to sing it for you now. telling the story of number 29, the hobo who didn't die, because he was running a little late that day. So, this song's still pretty fresh, so it might be a little rocky. I thank you for sticking with me on it. Here we go. I'm just an old hobo of 30 years or more, and I've seen the whole country looking out a boxcar door. I'll tell you a story, if you've got the time, of how I earned the name. Oh, lucky 29. It was out in Portland, Oregon, 10 years ago, when us hobos got thirsty, to the Pioneer we'd go. Just a little cut-rate drugstore, it only cost a dime to buy enough dehorn to get you feeling fine. Well, that Skid Row, she's hard, boys. That Skid Row, she's cold, but she's never shed one tear for those 28 hobos. The druggist shook his head that day and handed back my dime. He said, "You're too late, Bo, we're fresh out of shine." I went back to the flop house, shaken with the thirst, but the 28 before me, well, them boys had it worse. Now drinking that canned heat, boys, it goes to your head. Well, many men have tried it and wish they were dead, but a bad batch of dehorn, there's no fooling round. It's the last drink you'll take before they put you in the ground. Well, that Skid Row, she's hard, boys. That Skid Row, she's cold, and she's never shed one tear for those 28 hobos. They found them the next morning, all twisted, blue, and cold. Those 28 poor hobos, all men I used to know. They bought it at that drugstore, they paid with their lives, but that liquor didn't get. Oh, lucky 29. Well, I've ridden on the rails, boys, I've slept out in the cold, and those drafty, rattling boxcars, they've shaken up my bones. But my canned heat days through now, I'll stick with musky wine, keep telling the story of old lucky 29. 'Cause that Skid Row, she's hard, boys. That Skid Row, she's cold, and she's never shed one tear for those 28 hobos. Yes, that Skid Row, she's hard, boys. That Skid Row, she's cold, and she's never shed one tear for those 28 hobos. There you go, old lucky 29, who got there just a little too late to get his bottle of hooch that day and survived. So, you know, there's a lot of stories similar to that one that I told of people dying from drinking canned heat, which are, you know, they still have them, little sterno cans. It's a mixture of alcohol and paraffin, and they would actually use their handkerchief, or if things really got tough, they'd use their sock to strain the chunks of paraffin out of there so they could get the alcohol. And there was a bit of methyl alcohol, you know, denatured in that as well, but not enough to kill you most of the time. So by God, they made it work. So that's one sad story out of many of desperate people doing desperate things and paying the ultimate price. So during this wonderful, cheerful time of year, I thought I'd hit you with all of that. I still, because of the slight video snafu.
Aha!
What?
I have it.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more.
God be praised.
Ha Oh,
audio. There we are. Some cool imagery there at the end. Thank you to Jerome for letting us use that. Really, really cool stuff. He's a master. If you check out his YouTube channel, the address came up there at the very end. You just make a playlist out of all the great stuff he's done and just let it run. That's my advice. So back to this theme of bootleg alcohol. You know, the story I told was from after Prohibition had ended, but people were still, they kind of got in the habit of drinking the canned heat and the denatured alcohol. Well, of course, during Prohibition, back in the 20s, there was a lot of bootleg liquor being distilled out in the mountains and hills of North America. And I say that because I've been looking at some of these old labels and things from the 20s, early 1900s, and one of them that I found, I have since printed on. Would you believe I don't have that one with me? Actually, I do have one, a Kentucky Lily bourbon can. I know you can't really see the design great here on this screen. If you go to cbgitty.com, I've got all of these cans listed. Each of the designs is available in 3 different sizes. Quart, which is about yay big. This is an old gunpowder tin. Pint, which is that big. And then half pint, which compared to the other 2 is even smaller. So these can be used for canned joes. They can be used as, they can be set into a cigar box, like on this little beauty here I'll be playing in a bit. Set into the cigar box as a resonator. Also, decorative purposes, you can put flowers in them, whatever you want. I think it's really cool. So all kinds of great designs that I'm looking at, working on. One of them is an old label from a bottle of hooch in the 20s, Red's Pure Old Panther Piss. Nice uplifting title there. That Panther Piss is an old term for basically bad rot gut hooch. That term's been around a long time. So finding an actual label, and I spent more time than I'd like to admit. Actually, my morning last Sunday, all of my morning was spent digitally restoring that label, because of course the one I found online was grainy and low resolution, so turning that into something that can be printed takes a wee bit of doing, and I did it and I'm happy with it. So
that kind of stuff can be fun though.
It is. I like screwing around with old graphics and restoring them.
Do you have a cigar going?
No, I was sitting in my house. I don't smoke them in there, by God.
Yeah.
And I've also been sawing away on this fiddle. Sometimes it feels like I'm getting better at it. Other times it doesn't. That time was more towards the, I feel like I'm getting better at it.
There were no squeaks or?
Very few squeaks. I've been working on that part of the technique. That was Drowsy Maggie, an old Irish reel, and technically D Dorian, but effectively E minor. What have we got next? Oh, so the new products I've been working on. One of them are these printed tins. There's currently 6 or 7 different designs. A couple of gunpowder tins, a couple of alcohol-related things, an American flag, arsenic poison can, Dr. Kilmer's Swamp Root elixir. That one has proven to be popular already. And there will be more. I'm working on many other designs. Some of those designs carry over to another thing that we are launching / relaunching. I just got them all listed before the show went live. And that is the paint can lid resonators. You might remember something similar. Originally, we were doing the gallon-sized one. These are half-gallon. The gallon-sized ones are 6 1/4 inches in diameter, which is a little big for a lot of cigar boxes. The most readily available cigar boxes, it's a squeeze to get 6 1/4 diameter on there. These are 5 inches. These are half-gallon paint can lids, and they fit nicely into a 5-inch hole cut in a cigar box, exactly 5 inches, and that sets right in there, and that becomes your resonator. They've got a nice sound. It gives you a dobro-esque sound. So I basically have taken the 7 or so designs that we had on the gallon-sized ones. The Morgan Silver, and I know you can't really see them very good from this distance. This is a silver dollar design. Got American Powder Mills gunpowder, an old gunpowder, that's all glare, isn't it? Gunpowder keg design from the Civil War. This is a real, what they used to stencil onto the top of gunpowder kegs. Magic baking powder, pure and wholesome. An old rendition of the top of a baking powder can. Of course, the Danny Woodman's favorite, the railroad crossing sign. The back of a wheat penny. See if you can get it there. I know a lot of us of a certain age still recognize what the backs of the pennies used to look like. I know you're not going to be able to see this one. This is a $20 gold piece. $20 St. Gaudens double eagle gold piece from 1924. Buffalo nickel, the good old Indian head nickel there, very recognizable, and the American flag that I showed you first. So those are the first series of the re-release of those paint can lid resonators. Now, of course, we use those same paint can lids to spin our hubcap, reso cones. We're not able to print on those because of their depth, but these printed ones work great, look awesome, and I'm pretty proud of them. And there's a whole slew of additional designs that are going to be coming out for the cans, for the paint can lids, for the printed box tops we do. All sorts of good stuff coming. But speaking of good stuff coming, next is our good buddy Kale from Pornis Studios doing I Love a Rainy Night, playing it on a Gitty Lele, I believe. He built from the kit that we sell here at CB Gitty. So hope you enjoy it.
Hey guys, it's another episode of Midweek Madness. We're live from the bedroom this week. If you've been following this little series I've been doing since the quarantine started, you know I just kind of been going around room to room in the house, and I haven't done the bedroom yet, so we're going to take care of that this week. Also, this is the instrument. I call this one the Devil's Uke for obvious reasons. This is a Gitty Lele kit that I built the first week of the quarantine. It's come in handy a couple times. And this here song we're going to do this week has a little bit of a story behind it, let me tell you. So earlier this week, my wife and I, we were grocery shopping. And this song came on the radio in the grocery store, and I started just immediately head bopping, and she kind of looked at me like, what are you doing? And it was so weird, man, I haven't heard this song in decades, but it took me straight back to childhood. Like, pew! I just shot backwards through time, and I remembered in the 80s, so the song might have been a decade old or something at that point, but I remember my dad cranking it on the stereo back in the 1980s, and I remember just running in and just doing this and acting, you know, like kids act, and just, you know, kids are the best artists, the best musicians, the best dancers, the best singers, because they're not going for anything but the expression, you know. They don't care what anybody thinks. And it brought me back to that moment, man. I was a kid again for that second. And so I said to myself, you know what? I know what the Midweek Madness song is going to be this week. So here we go. Here's a little Eddie Rabbit for Midweek Madness. Well, I love a rainy night. I love a rainy night. I love to hear the thunder, watch the lightning when it lights up the skies. You know it makes me feel good. Well, I love the rainy night, it's such a beautiful sight. I love to feel the rain on my face, taste the rain on my lips. In the moonlight shadow, showers washed all my cares away. I wake up to a sunny day, but I love a rainy night. Well, I love a rainy night. I love a rainy night. I love a rainy night. I love to hear the thunder, watch the lightning when it lights up the sky. You know it makes me feel good. Well, I love the rainy night. It's such a beautiful sight. I love to feel woke up to a sunny day, but I love a rainy night. Yeah, I love a rainy night. Well, I love a rainy night. You can see it in my eyes. And I love the rainy night 'cause it makes me high. I love the rainy night, yeah, you know I do. I love the rainy night. I said, ooh, ooh. I love a rainy night. See it in my eyes. And I love a rainy night when it makes me high. And I love a rainy night. I love you too, yeah, I love a rainy night. Yeah, I love a rainy night. Yeah, I love a rainy night. Well, Eddie Rabbit on Midweek Madness.
Well, thanks again to Kale for submitting videos for us. Nick and I were talking during that, like, we should just put Kale in the introduction to the show because he's pretty much a Gitty Gang member at this point. We appreciate it though. Jim Burt was asking, these tunes, do I play them by ear or learn them by ear? The answer to that, for the most part, is no. Usually I'll learn these Irish tunes, session tunes, traditional Irish session tunes. I'll learn them on my banjo or mandolin, and then once I have them memorized, I'll try them out on the fiddle. Trying to learn them a new tune on the fiddle, which has so many other challenges for me, is a little too tricky. So I learn them on one I know better and then transfer it. But the learning of them, I have learned a couple kind of by ear. Keep hearing them at sessions and just kind of work them out. But mostly I learn them from sheet music, lines and dots. Because I did learn how to read music a long time ago. But the good thing, the fiddle, the banjo, the Irish tenor banjo, the mandolin, they're all tuned the same. G, D, A, E. So if you learn something on one, you can pick up one of the others, like Louie's mandolin, which is around here somewhere.
It's on the wall.
On the wall. I don't know if it's in tune. It takes a little bit of translating in the head to go from one to the other, because on the banjo you got to use your pinky a lot more. So same picking, just a little different spacing, little different dynamics of what you're doing, where you're playing it. So anyway, long answer to a short question, as I usually do. So another new product, if you saw Shane's video or if you saw our newsletter, you already know about this one. We have been selling fretting scale templates for years, and this is how they would come. The listing photos would show them clear, but they'd arrive like this, and some people would get pretty angry that we so horribly duped them, even though there'd be a label on it saying, pull off, carefully pull off the protective blue film to expose the clear acrylic. But as you can see, pulling off that film was a pain in the butt. And the reason you had to be so careful is because thin acrylic breaks easily. It's brittle. But at the time we came up with these, this was the only material I knew of that was easily found, readily available, so we started making them out of thin acrylic. And a lot of them broke, and we reshipped a lot of them. And but we sold many, many, many of them. And a lot of people were happy to have them because they made marking out, this was a 25-inch fret scale, and it made marking a neck for slotting easy. Easy to do accurately, no measuring, no farting around. You got your template, right? Well, a while back, I contacted my plastic supplier where I get the acrylic, and I said, there's got to be a material that is clear, flexible, not brittle, resistant, easy to cut, works on the laser without creating noxious fumes. What do you got? He's like, oh, you want this. It's 1/4 the thickness. It's less expensive. It's flexible. It's clear. It cuts great on a laser. It's all the things you're looking
Slices,
for.
it dices, it will walk your dog.
But does it blend? Yes, maybe it does. I don't know. So this, they are 0.02 inches thick. This is the same one, the 25-inch scale. Markings for what frets to skip for diatonic and dulcimer fretting. Side notches here if you want to lay it down and just quickly bit, bit, boop. Fret position markers, side position markers. The frets are numbered, and we've got them in 15 or so different. Yeah, Jim Burt knows. I saw his unboxing of the the ones he recently got. So we're very happy with these. They've been selling like hotcakes since we rolled them out last week. But I wanted to just briefly mention them here on the Gitty Gang Show in case any of you hadn't seen the other efforts we've made to get the word out, because they really are a huge thunder sounds for videos. If your thunder ever sounds like that, then you're in a heap of trouble.
No, you just bring it into the audio, you lower the octave a little bit, and it just...
Yeah, I don't recommend. I don't recommend using them in that way.
Yeah,
still be gentle with them, because thin plastic, even durable stuff like this, it will still crack. You can gently flex it, but you know it is still possible to break. Or you know, like a chip bag, a bag of potato chips. Sometimes if it gets a cut started, it will tear. So yeah, some care is still needed. Yeah, disclaimer: don't actually do any of this ever at home. But yes, huge improvement, and we're pretty happy about it. So yeah, buddy. What we're gonna do now?
And they're cheaper. I think you already.
Oh yeah, a lot, like 40% cheaper, which is significant. So we're gonna run the video now that our buddy William Edward White sent in. He says, through experimentation and relearning chords for DAE tuning, he found more versatility, ease, and understanding of the fretboard. So he's doing Please Come Home for Christmas on his Redwood Fruit Box nylon stringed instrument. Well, thanks to William Edward White for sending that in, and you know, I'm sitting here thinking, like, oh, DAE, all right. Why? Why DAE? Well, you know, a typical power chord tuning on cigar box guitars, 151, would be DAD. DAE is like the Where'd I put it? There it is. Basically, you take off the low G string of a mandolin, you got D, A, E, tuned to fifths. So that is interesting too. And Shane said he was playing some yummy chords. I guess it would open up a little more versatility for your instrument, having just one step higher on that high string up to E. So, yeah, it's always good to keep experimenting, trying things out. Speaking of trying things out, our Nick is now going to come up here.
Oh boy.
And play a song. A little bit of Chicken Fried on the Time Clock Rezo guitar. And I'm going to mask up, and he's going to come up and demask for whatever it's worth. Mask.
D-Mask. Oh, hi, guys. It's really good to be up here. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
She goes right down, doesn't she?
She goes right down. What's going on, guys? Let me grab my lyrics. I probably don't need them, but... A little bit of chicken fried, a cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio. It's been a while. Well, I was raised up beneath the shade of a Georgia pine. That's home, you know, sweet deep pecan pie and homemade wine, where the peaches grow. My house ain't much to talk about, but it's home, you know, but it's filled with love that's grown in southern ground. Little bit of chicken fried, a cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio, and I like to see the sunrise, see my love in my woman's eyes, feel the touch of a precious child, know a mother's love. Well, it's funny how the simple things in life what mean the most. Treat the way you live, what you drive, or the price tag on your clothes. There's no dollar sign on a piece of mind, this I've come to know. So if you agree, have a drink with me, raise your glasses for a toast to a little bit of chicken fried, a cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio. I like to see the sunrise, see the love in my woman's eyes, feel the touch of a precious child, and know a mother's love. Thank God for my life, for the stars and stripes, may freedom forever rhyme. Let it ring, salute the ones who died, the ones who gave their lives so you don't have to sacrifice all the things we love. A little bit of chicken fried, a cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio. I like to see the sunrise, feel the love in my woman's eyes, feel the touch of a precious child, and know a mother's love. Thanks, guys. A little wobbly at the beginning. It had been a while.
Gotta get you a new chair back there, son.
Gotta get you a new chair. That was the one behind me desk.
Yeah, not this chair, that other chair. So I shared the link there to the Cigar Box Nation neck gaiter mask that you saw Nick modeling so nicely. That's where I got them, from hobofiddle.com, and where you can get them too if you're so inclined. Yeah, but so what do we have left? We have a video from Louie Lamanna. I didn't bring this CD in.
Oh,
Sons of
mine's on my car.
Riches. Mine's in on my desk. Well, Louie has recently put out a new album. Great stuff. He sent us a couple, and I sat down the day it arrived, Tuesday, whatever day it was. I listened to the whole thing there at my desk. Some really good stuff on there. One song dedicated to our own
Cool,
Nick.
I love it.
So Louie found a video. I'm not sure if he made it this week or just found it and sent it, doing one of his songs here. So here you go, Louie Lamanna.
Late autumn leaves when it's much too cold for flowers. Catch the breeze so fine. Memories of when the night was warmer. Reaching for the sky. All at once it comes a gust of wind. Late autumn leaf learns to fly. Crash landing in an empty field to start turning brown and getting dry. Late autumn leaves being raked up in your backyard. Flannel shirt, rolled up sleeves. It's busy work, but the snow will soon be flying. It gives you long a chance to breathe. And all at once there comes a gust of wind. Footsteps running across the green. A little boy, his eyes are smiling, 'cause it's the biggest pile of leaves he's ever seen. Oh, late autumn leaves. Oh, late autumn leaves. Falling down, late autumn leaves. Falling down, late autumn leaves. Late autumn leaves, nature's final bounty. Hand of harvest time. Winter comes, but the land is filled with plenty. The table's laid so fine. And all at once there comes a gust of wind. changes soon begin to appear. Living artwork on the mountainside. Special time of the year. Late autumn leaves when it's much too cold for flowers.
Well, thank you, Louie, for sending that in. We're happy to run it, and congratulations on the release of your new album. Feel free to post that link to your Bandcamp where people can pick it up, because that's what we do here. So I'm going to play a little medley here on this guitar. We came up with this guitar design last week? I don't know. So much has been happening, I'm losing track of time. Using one of these 1-pint F-style rectangular tins. I started talking with RJ out in the shop, like, how can we mount that into a box? And the way we came up with, a little close up here, you see these tab pieces here, they go under the lip, this lip of the can, and kind of suspend it there from that box. Oh, you can also see that I printed on the border around the cutout a nice graphic from the actual U.S. Constitution with ink blots and all are on there. So it's got a nice tinny, resonator-y kind of sound. It's like a cross between a guitar and a banjo. It has some growl to it. It sounds like it's supposed to sound. An instrument like this, where you're taking a tin can and you're sticking it in a cigar box, it sounds the way it's supposed to sound, in my opinion. And if you have a different opinion, that's fine, but to hell with, no, I mean, it's fine. That's what I meant to say. All right, so I'm going to try a little medley here of some good American songs to play on this nice Patriotic guitar here. songs there. Thank you for joining us. We're at the 1 hour mark. I promised you a Jim Morris video, and by God, I'm not going back on my word. As Nick posted there, these guitars are now available, calling it the Patriot's Pride. And this is the first design in a line. We're going to be using more of these can designs and more printed borders on the boxes. A really cool concept. And we've got even more. A lot of good stuff in the days ahead, folks. So here's Jim Morris playing another one of his cigar box fiddles. He built this one I played earlier, and he's built many of them and plays them much better than I do. So here's Jim Morris to take us out with Porter's Reel. Thanks, Jim, for sending that in. Thank all of you for watching. It's the most wonderful time of the year, isn't it? And I ain't going to play that song. I'm going to play... Well, it's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Nation TV. Station TV, and we came to you live from CB Gitty. Saying all you need is a stick in a box and some strings, a few strings. Saying all you need is a stick and a box and some strings, and you put them all together, you know they're gonna ring. Time of year, we gotta focus on what really matters. Friends, family, loved ones, all the important things. Doesn't matter whose team won the last sports matchup or election. Focus on the things that matter the most during this most blessed time of the year. We'll see you next week, folks.